Well, hello everyone. You're here to show you that the Men in Black is a bank rescue is a coloring right here. As you see right here is I went ahead and colored in right here is you got the Men in Black characters right here, and of course it's like talking about it's like maybe between calls like to a location it is, or if it's a say is like what you call it's like that tool that you normally see in the movies it is. And but this scene right here of course as I went ahead and drew right here is a scene to where that a type of scene that more likely that maybe that I would think that more likely that maybe see in the big screen it is you have right here is a scene to where if you were to walk into the bank it is, you walk into the lobby it is, and then if you were to walk in there and then it's like take care of whatever, or the fact about what you call it there could be like what you call some type of bank robbery it is knowing about that there will be like a painting on the wall right there, and that painting could include it's like what you call say a background kind of like this, to where anybody that will walk into the bank it would not even know that this what you call this security guard, I guess you say the security guard alien that would be right there. It's like what you call it's like you say a 3D say dimensional say character right there. But other than that, it's talking about with it's like with the bank, it's like a security guard right there, knowing about that he comes he has like what you call so you kind of draw that in. But really, how do you make it like I've mentioned before, like talking about trying to make it 3D, even though if it's an actual artwork done by crayon and marker it is. But anyway, that you have right here is like what you call it's like a 3D say dimensional. It's like talking about it's like if you would actually show the security guard coming out of the you say of the painting it is, and talking about like I'm gonna teach you a lesson. It's like you don't be coming to my bank and then start trouble. You hear me? But other than that, it's talking about it's like we say was Will Smith and you say Tommy Lee Jones. It's like Agent J and Agent K. It's like if there could be you say an agent agent T1 or anything like that. Agent agent when you white kid Agent Wake or anything like that. Say double K or anything like that. But other than that, you have right here is a security guard right here. The security guard could have like what you call an advanced weapons it is. It's like I guess I could maybe draw some examples. It's like maybe if they're gonna make another Men in Black movie it is, it's like you have like a gun. It's like you have like a weapon. It's like talking about it's like something that it's like uses like what you call a transforce, like talking about a type of a gun that's like that what you call folds into like what you call a piece it is. It's like you take it out. It's like if you had it in your pocket or whatever it is. It's like it takes that and it folds out to where you can actually hold it. It's like you say in like a form kind of like this, where it's like not so easy. Of course, it's like for so far as for the aim, it's like so far as like I'm gonna teach you a lesson. But other than that, it's talking about is that you got right here is the character. But other than that, it's talking about it's like it, which I'm sure that most people would probably think if they've seen the movie before, is knowing about that the types of things that you would think that maybe you'd like to see. It's like for like a Men in Black scene it is. But other than that, is talking about like really that what type of, if there will be any type of villain alien that will be walking to the bank it is, and then stealing money it is. We're talking about it's like the type of money that you think that you'll be seeing to go ahead and work with right here is the green. But go ahead and like have like what you call some stacks of money at about right here it is, stacks of money. And with that money that look like any like money that you would normally see in like any other cartoon it is. But on the other hand too, that knowing about that that you may see like what you call a character design on it or anything like that. But other than that, it's talking about it's like what you call is like the types of things that you would normally see in the banks it is. But right here is go ahead and draw like what you call maybe an idea for maybe the next episode will be like what you call it's glasses, the glasses with maybe with some built-in night vision it is. it's like really that, you know, talking about with night vision, that talking about it's like, you know, at night, it's like anything that you think that, you know, you would, you know, any type of comic book that you think you want to read about, of course, is talking about, it's like right here, it's like with that night vision, a type of a pair of glasses with night vision. It is got the night vision, and a lot of times people probably think about with night vision that go ahead and use the same blue, but with night vision, you know, more likely night vision in 3D is knowing about that. Yeah, that you have a, you know, these characters right here still see them, but last time I remember, you know, I never had a pair of night vision goggles, but on the other hand too, that knowing about in the video game, I remember seeing is that a lot of times the characters will be like glowing, like a glow blue, you know, kind of like this right here. It's like they have a glow blue, you know, type look on them. It's like you say a glow, you know, type look on them, and knowing about it's like what you call it's like for night vision, and of course, you know, with that, you know, anything that you can think of. But other than that you have right here is the bank scene, and then of course you got right here is, you know, for Tedrin, and this idea comes right in this, like knowing about it's like maybe what you call maybe glowing it, you know, that the night vision, you know, type idea is like with Tedrin. If anybody were to ask me, it's like maybe what the next maybe the next you know, monster alien, it's like knowing about maybe that could be arriving in the next movie. It is that you know, I don't know, it's like, you know, that with most Hollywood movies, that, you know, whenever they do if they were going to be doing a sequel, it is knowing about, you know, the types of villains that they think that you know, they will be using. It is, and of course, you know, the idea I came up with right here is with Tedrin. You know, Tedrin, that of course that you know, describe this, you know, this bad guy, this villain, and of course where he can turn, you say, you know, in invisible, you know, he can turn invisible. It is where he can turn visible, and he has a suit. You know, he's you know, he's got a suit, you know, that the more like that he wears is like talking about, it's like where he can fly, so he turn invisible, and then of course it's like you have with this character right here, and of course, you know, thinking about, it's like knowing about how much time I got really to add any more detail. But anyway, but with Tedrin right here, this will be like what you call say an alien, you know, villain. It is that where he can actually, you know, turn invisible, and of course, you know, he can fly, knowing about, you know, between Agent J and say Agent K. It is knowing about the, yeah, that, you know, going after the bad guys. It is going after, you say, a villain, you know, say part of, you say that where I say come from space. It is with Tedrin is showing that yeah, that he has this suit that allows him to say to fly, and then of course maybe to shoot, you know, some lasers and stuff like that, you know, shoot some lasers. And on the other hand too, that knowing about, it's like between you know, other than villains, like other than with those critters, you say the science fiction type critters that, you know, that come out of their hand. It is that with Tedrin, he has something to say on his hand that allows like knowing about that yeah, I don't know about anything that normally maybe what you would see, I want to say, on one of those Harry Potter type movies. It is, but with Tedrin, it's like you have like a little you know, like a little like a little alien critter that where he only walks at times, but other than that, it's like where, you know, the types of things that you would normally see in those movies, to where with Tedrin that he will be walking, you know, just like any other, you know, normal, say, human being. It is, but then on the other hand too, that knowing about the way that he hides, it is that we say describe exactly, it's like knowing about, yeah, this scene right here with the bank scene, but then knowing about, you know, what does Tedrin do. But with Tedrin, no, I'll just say that that maybe that he has what you call, you know, way to where he can hide in his suit, and then of course it's like where the suit, where say the transfer colors, it is knowing about, it's like ways where he can hide and stuff, you know, away from whoever that, you know, could be looking for him. It's like, but got right there is the green, but go ahead and, you know, use a little bit of blue right here. It's like with Tedrin right here, it's like if Tedrin were to be wearing a hat or anything like that. But other than that, it's like you have right here is like for the bank scene, and then of course you have right here, so you got the countertop, and knowing about what's like with the extra security. It is. But with most of us, if you're thinking about being a of course being a comic book say if you were to draw this type of details about these characters, it is knowing about this, like knowing about exactly about between, say, if it's say knowing about fiction and non-fiction, it is. But other than that, is talk about, it's like with science. It's like for science, you say science fiction, it is. And I can remember, it's like whenever, of course, a lot of times, a lot of the books that you read about, of course, if it's going to be like a comic book or say any type of illustrated, say, character is known about, it's like, got right here is the Flash, and more likely that if you were to read about these stories, it is knowing about that, knowing about that, that it's knowing about that the story may not be real, of course, but I always kind of look at it as knowing about that, it's how entertaining it is, and of course about it's like see how artistic, and knowing about with me that I was told a lot of times in school that, of course, with my artwork that one teacher that, of course, that wanted me to join an art class whenever I was about 14 years old. I got in art class whenever I was very young, and just knowing about the fact about that, that art class had kind of its ups and downs, because of course they would not let you just draw out whatever you can imagine. A lot of times, every once in a while, that they would let you draw, but then of course that they would want you to draw something that they wanted to see. A lot of times it's like knowing about how do you draw an apple. It's like every once in a while we would draw like what you call apples and stuff like that. And it's like any type of objects. It is, and we would talk about other artists, but I don't know. It's like the type of artwork that I'm really interested in knowing about is like ideas that you can come up with, and knowing about really what it's like talking about is like if you're going to draw something, at least a masterpiece such as a scene like this, walk into the door, and then you got right here's the bank, and then of course you got right here security guard in the painting, it is, and just knowing about that, with most kids you probably think about is like that with this type of stuff is knowing about that that I don't know if it's really I would say it's pretty normal, and I would probably say I would suggest that more likely if you're going to be spending your time, which is say creating your own artwork, and then of course come up with your own characters, it is knowing about that, as long as it's not going to take too much of your time away from the important stuff too, because on the other hand too, that knowing about that with the coloring like this right here is just knowing about the fact about that, that it's more likely it's going to start using up a little bit more of your time, it is, and knowing about the fact about what you really learn whenever you start drawing stuff. And in a way I think about it, I'm like, that's some good creative ideas, it is. And knowing about the fact that more likely that people may think of it as like, hey, that would be something that I like to maybe see in 3D or anything like that. But talking about is like we got right here is the tool right here for the Men in Black tool. It's like there's something that made to say erase your memories. It's measured by the days, the days of months and years, I think it is, as from the movie it was. But other than that, is talk about besides the movie, it's like besides Hollywood, is talking about the things that normally that maybe you would maybe like reading about maybe in comic books, it is. And what most of us will probably think about that, that if you were to read a comic book, buy a comic book or whatever you call it, and maybe thinking about that, hey, get some ideas and maybe you can write your own, it is. And a lot of people probably think about that, that you have this right here to work with. And let's just say that go ahead and start right here as a picture, and then talk about between a blank page and just if you want to just edit on, it's like what do you think that will be beyond the store or whatever you call it. It's like if you got right here is a street. A lot of people would probably think about that it's not that easy, I don't want to mess with it. Well, I don't have time for it or whatever. It seems like that a lot of people probably think about that, especially whenever that they were to be doing, say, maybe filing their taxes or whatever, or maybe working with different colors, designs, and stuff like that. But on the other hand, too, that knowing about that, that you're always gonna think about some ideas, and then more likely you could probably think about those ideas may not match about the fact about that that's not It's like with the spelling it is knowing about, is it called the rescue, or is it rescue, or anything like that. But so far as talk about with the R right here. With the R, a lot of people probably think about is if it's, rescue or rescue, or if you think talking about it's like with the bank row. You say bank row is like knowing about this, like for the security row. But other than that, it's like so far as they talk about, it's like what you call it is the 3D characters, like for the security row, and all they talk about is protecting, say, the bank. It's like talking about it's like protecting the money it is, and talking about it's like what the bank scene is talking about for the Men in Black. It's like so far as for the bank rescue.